Hey guys, Courtney here with Courtney's Customs, and today I'm going to be showing y'all how to make a multicolored stripe glitter Valentine's Day tumbler. It's going to be super cute. I have all of my glitters here in front of me picked out and they are stunning. So I am starting with a 20 ounce skinny straight from Courtney's Customs blanks, and since there's going to be stripes, I'm going to be using painter's tape. I have a white spray painted tumbler over here that I was going to use, and my tape just kept like pulling up the paint, and I didn't want to add a layer of epoxy before moving on because I feel like that's a waste. So I'm going to do it this way. So I'm going to use Pop of Colors Terracotta, and I'm using this just because it's like a really neutral color that I can use that I think all of these glitters will be just fine over. And I've got my makeup brush that I'm going to apply the paint with. I have some painter's tape. This is 1.41 inches tall, and a tape measure and a pen. So I really want to try to get my stripes as even as possible going down. So what I'm going to do is take my tape measure, start right here at the very top, and I think 2-inch wide stripes will be perfect. And they might not be like completely perfect, but this is going to help them look pretty daggone good. So I marked a spot at 2. I'm going to come down here and mark another spot at 4. And then I'm going to mark another spot at 6. And then 8 will just be right there at the very bottom. So now I have at least a halfway decent little map here to tape off the sections. So I'm going to take some painter's tape, and I'm going to get that first section ready to be glittered, painted and glittered. And I'm just going to put my tape right over that line to mark off my first spot. Alright, so now the first glitter color that I'm using is Passion from the Glitter Grind. And I'm going to take my Terracotta Pop of Color and my makeup brush, and I'm just going to apply paint to this top section here. So I'm just pushing down on that tape to make sure it's good and tight onto the tumbler. And I'm going to start painting that section, and I'm actually going to use my paint as my glitter adhesive. So that's just kind of saving me a step of waiting on this to dry and then applying Mod Podge. Alright, so now I'm going to immediately remove that tape while everything is still wet. So now I still have my 2 extra lines down here. I'm just going to repeat this process with all of the other glitters that I've chosen, and I'll make sure to stop and show you guys what the glitter is before I apply it, but they are all from the Glitter Grind, so here we go. so now all of this is on. I feel like it looks pretty daggone even. I love it. So now I am going to take this outside, spray it probably twice with 2 times Rust-Oleum Clear, and then add a couple coats of epoxy, and I'll come back to show y'all the next step. So before I added that coat of epoxy, I actually added some Quick Coat Urethane Sealer from CCDIY, and that really helped ensure that all of my glitter stayed in place. And even though this is chunky glitter, putting this on, letting it dry, and then adding a coat of epoxy made this pretty daggone smooth for being chunky glitter and just 1 coat of epoxy. So I'm actually ready to move on to the next step, but I am going to sand this down, and I'm going to show y'all how I Dremel the rim of my tumbler. You want to have just the tiniest little bit of stainless steel exposed so the epoxy has something to really grip onto. Alright, so this is the Dremel that I got. I just got it from Amazon. It came with like a bunch of different, I call them heads, I don't really know what they're called. A lot of people have been suggesting that I get a flap wheel from Amazon that goes on the Dremel, and I guess it makes it a lot easier to do that rim of your tumbler. I just have not gotten around to ordering that yet, and I keep forgetting, so I better like order it right now while it's on my brain, or I won't do it later. But for now, whenever you Dremel, especially if you are inside, I suggest putting on your respirator. Even though the epoxy is cured, the epoxy dust, you don't want to inhale that in, because that's just as toxic as if you were going to inhale like epoxy fumes, like when you're mixing your epoxy. So wear a respirator. And wear some sort of like safety goggle, because you don't want a piece of something coming up and getting in your eye, because that would be horrible. So I don't know, let me get this to focus if you can see, but I've just got the tiniest little bit of stainless steel exposing so that epoxy can have something to grip onto. Alright, so now my plan is to add some stripes in between all of the collars to kind of break it up a little bit. And I found these super cute little XOXO files on Creative Fabrica. And the stripes that I'm using, this is just gold textured vinyl from Amazon, and I made them 11 inches wide and 0.16 inches tall. Now that the stripes are on, I want to put the XOXOs. I printed off 4 of them, and I want to do 1, 2, 3, 4 just on one side with 1 on each color. I love how that turned out. I wasn't sure, but after I got the first one on, I wasn't sure. I thought maybe they were too big, but I absolutely love this. So now the only thing left to do is add a couple coats of epoxy. So after I do that, I'll come back and I'll show you all the final result. So after final coats of epoxy, this is what we're left with. Guys, I love this so much. I think it is so, so gorgeous. This is available on my website. I'll make sure to have a link for my website down in the description. And I don't know, I just love everything about it. I love the colors, I love the decals, I love the stripes. I don't know, I can't keep it. I have to post it. Okay, I'm posting it. Before I go, I do have y'all's cup of positivity for the day, and today's quote is, "To live a fulfilled life, we need to keep creating the what is next of our lives. Without dreams and goals, there is no living, only merely existing, and that is not why we are here." That was said by Mark Twain. that is all I have for you guys today. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Make sure you go check out my website. I have a lot of ready to ship tumblers ready to go. But like always, if y'all have any questions, please feel free to comment. Don't forget to subscribe. Be kind, love one another, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!